Welcome, podcast fans. It's time for the What's Up Bro podcast show, presented by j&j Production Studios, the home for all your entertainment needs. All kinds of great topics discussed every week, a variety of different themes offered, special guest appearances, prize giveaways, and so much more. Stay tuned. And now, here are your hosts, Sam Crow and Big Hoss.
Well, hello, good evening, everybody, one and all. Welcome back to another thrilling episode of the show. Sam Crow here with Past Master Bill, and tonight we continue on. We've had a Beverly and slew of interviews, which you guys have seen. If you haven't, you should by now. They're up there, so check them out. But we have another good one tonight. We've been looking forward to this one, so we want to welcome to. We'll give you the backstory first. Let's welcome to the show, and I have my little special effects. We like to feel real special here, make everybody feel special. So joining us tonight, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Tom Gregory to the show. Round of applause, everybody. Yay! Cheers! Hello, Tom. How are you?
I am well, sir. Thank you.
Well, we're glad we could finally do this. We had a very exhilarating chat last time we chatted with you, and I can't wait to see where this goes here now live on the air, where this is no holds bar. So this is a precursor warning. This is your disclaimer warning for viewers at home. This could get interesting, just saying. So if you're not prepared for this, maybe have a drink first and then come back. No, I'm kidding.
I was going to say, put the kids to bed, or at least in another room.
Yeah. Maybe put their headphones on and let them have their iPads while we do this. You know, if you need that little adult entertainment, this could be your fun time.
Well, not that fun time. Unless you don't want those awkward questions. Daddy, what is this? Just have them go read a nursery rhyme.
My favorite one is, what is this in Mom's night table drawer? Where'd you get the batteries from?
It's a neck massager.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it vibrates. I'm sure it does. Yeah, you get the gist. So
Tom, why don't you let the audience know who you are and what makes you successful?
And why this could be an interesting conversation.
So who I am, practically, is I am a person who takes photographs for a living. But the fascinating thing about my work is more and more as I go down the rabbit hole, I realize that in the work that I really do, the photographs are just a receipt.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that you receive to bear witness to an experience. And
right.
What the experience I offer is women an opportunity to feel authentically seen and authentically themselves.
Okay.
Not to read off of any kind of a script or to step into pretending to be someone they aren't.
Mm-hmm.
Just giving them a chance to, and for a lot of women in all walks of life, for all kinds of different reasons, it's been a while since they've smiled when they've looked at their reflection.
Yeah.
And so I provide a forum in which women have this incredible experience and walk away saying, there I am. It's been a while. I miss that girl.
See, that's a great story there. And it's nice because I think we talked a little bit about this too. It gives the soccer mom feel of, there's a time for you. Like, you can kind of come out of your shell. You can have, I know I've seen a lot of these. You hear a lot of these either through books or tell-alls or things where women say, we just want to enjoy the real us per se. They want to unleash, cut loose, whatever, This is kind of a nice way because it's not something that's, I wouldn't say it's of the norm per se, but this is where people can be really expressive. I'm sure you've had a lot of interesting people you've dealt with that have done different things. And that could be one thing we get into there. Amongst other things, we're going to do a whole slew of things because I know for sure we'll give a little teaser here. Tom is very eager to go on a bit of a rant tonight for some reasons that he's dealing with some issues of censorship. I guess, is that a fair way to put that, more or less? So we will give you your blast. Precursor warning again. Go ahead.
I am polishing your soapbox. So it's
Yeah.
already,
I got the mic ready. Listen, and we put a disclaimer out again. This is free speech, and this is Tom's time to shine for that. So, not saying we don't agree. It's just, we don't want to invoke. We have rights. Everybody does. Just saying. So we'll get to that. But for the fun part, when you do, I guess we could ask the question first, just to explain everybody too, because we shared this. The difference between, you do it more pinup and boudoir versus, I guess, to be blunt, the people see it as like porn per se. Like, what is really the difference for people that don't understand or can't correlate the difference of what this really is compared to the more
the perception,
right?
Okay. Yeah. So every single shoot that I do begins like the seminal starting point is it begins with one question, which is I ask a woman, what do you want to feel when you look at pictures? And this clocks in a variety of different ways. They could tell me, oh, I want to feel powerful. I want to feel sexy. I want to feel beautiful, whatever it may be. And, of course, I make it very clear that, I operate on what I call the 3 C's. Number 1 is consent.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing happens that you don't want to happen.
Right.
Number 2, and this is so important, and it's tied to consent, comfort.
Mm-hmm.
So your yes is never going to be coerced. Like the last thing that I want is for someone to say yes to something and then walk away and say, God, I wish I hadn't said yes to that.
Yep.
So consent needs to be comfortable. It needs the yes needs to be enthusiastic and, not just a yes, but a hell yes. Let's do that.
Right.
And then finally, my 3rd C is confidentiality. Nothing gets shared that you don't want shared.
Mm-hmm.
If you sign a model release and you're like, I'm so proud of these, let's put them out there. Let's get them published. That's fine. If you tell me, you know what, I paid for my session and what I want to do is light these pictures on fire in my backyard and dance around them like a wild Indian, that's your business.
There you go.
You can do it. Or maybe you just want to book for your husband. Maybe you want a picture on the wall in your walk-in closet that no one other than you or him ever sees. Or how about this? Imagine a woman just might want those pictures for herself.
Yep.
And that's totally okay too. So those are my 3 C's. And I tell people, listen, I can shoot anywhere from Disney G rating to HBO After Dark. And I have done the gambit of that. I've done shoots with girls who they just wanted to be there in their sweater and their poodle skirt, we don't even show stockings or garters, or maybe you want to flirt with the camera a little bit. And then, I've had girls who are like, it's moving and I digress, but you talk about a variety of different shoots. I did 2 days ago or 3 days ago, I did a hillbilly themed shoot, like Beverly Hillbillies.
Oh boy.
And it was a girl on a farm and we had goats and she was in a wash tub. But when I asked her, what do you want to feel when you look at your pictures? It was actually kind of moving. She was like, I want to see myself the way that my husband sees me.
Aww.
Because I don't see myself that way. He sees me as sexy and beautiful and amazing, and I'm self-conscious. I've had 3 C-sections. I have 4 children, and he's like, she was like, I want to look at my pictures and see what my husband sees.
Oh, that's great.
And it's hey, challenge accepted.
Yeah. No, that's wonderful. And again, that's about empowerment. We talk a lot in the positive realm. We share a lot of what we talk about is to be positive. And we had sort of a, I guess you could say, more of a spicier content model come on and said the same thing. Doing this is more about, for women specifically in this context, feeling comfortable in their own skin. As I know it's a cliche saying, but it really is true. There's different shapes and sizes for a reason. And that story is beautiful too, because what she's saying is she does recognize that he reaffirms to her that she is beautiful. And she's like, I just really want to put those goggles on and see it from him so that I can get that full imagery, which is, it's wonderful. And that's obviously, again, that's different than the other elements of, and I say this because it's the best way to put it, most people are aware of this, is the the porn elements, if you will, to different. That's a whole different vein in of itself. I mean, obviously, I think there's maybe similar context for why it's done, but it's obviously its own animal. It's nothing. It's not associated. It's a complete separate thing. So it's not like, people probably lump it together. And I'm sure you've heard that line before. Like, what you're doing is essentially immodest, I guess you could say. You've probably heard every comment possible.
I have been told that my work is pornographic.
Point blank, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I could see that, and that's unfortunate too, because it's misconception, right? They're not really seeing the art itself. It's just you look at it going, "Oh, he's shooting half-naked girls, or whatever the aesthetics are, whatever the scenes are." They don't look at, "Oh, it's a very great landscape. It's a great picture taking. It's just, well, he's shooting it. Her clothes are off or lack there, whatever," and they just naturally assume porn right off the bat, which is a shame. But we've seen, like, we looked at a lot of photos you've done. Like, there's quite a lot of great shoots that you have done. I'm sure we couldn't even ask you to pick a favorite, because you probably have so many great stories they're all unique, right? They're like children. They're different in their own way.
My favorites tend to be whatever I most recently did.
Okay. That's fair.
Like, I tend to be a little bit infatuated, like, oh man, that was just such a great experience. I just got done with that. But it's amazing to look back over the pantheon and remember the stories that go along with it. There was a woman that I got together with. She did a very G-rated shoot. And I had met her videographing a fundraiser because she was trying to get a donor for a kidney.
Wow.
But I was struck by how beautiful. I mean, she had the dark skin, the Indian features. And I told her, I was like, this is what I do. I would love to work with you. And she was like, absolutely. And I didn't realize, and she showed up and she had like the veil and the sari. And I mean, it was just resplendent,
Wow.
Celebrating her culture and her beauty. And we did the shoot. And afterward, I'm like packing my stuff up and we're chatting. And I didn't realize, so often our mind glosses over people's stories. We don't really relate. And there's things that happen that kind of, snap us back. But we're standing there and she just says matter-of-factly, she wasn't pandering. She wasn't, playing the fiddle. She was just talking. And she was like, oh, yeah, the doctors have given me a less than 2% chance of finding a suitable donor. And she was like, I'm so happy to get these pictures so my husband and my children will have them when I'm dead.
Yeah.
Now, silver lining. The miracle happened. She got her kidney.
Oh, that's great.
And she's alive and healthy. She beat the odds, less than 2%. My girl got it. But that's still, phenomenal. I cried my eyes out the whole way. I was bawling like an infant.
Yeah.
It was just that's one of many situations that helped me realize that when I do this work, it allows me to step into a very deep place inside of people's hearts and their self-perception. Sure. And that's why it's so freaking infuriating to me when the Karens are like, oh, that's pornographic. Because, and you brought that point up, and I think we can all agree on this because I've chatted with you guys enough to know you're very well-grounded, intelligent people, even Bill.
Thank you. Thanks.
But when people see things that way, it's because of what's in their head.
Yep.
It's because of the glasses they're wearing. And a lot of times when people are like, oh, that's perverse, it's like, no, mother, your thinking is perverse.
That is very true. Well, point of reference, and I'm going to give Bill a question. I want to say two things. Number one, we have to go on record. There's a new change. Karen is now outdated. We don't call them Karens anymore. It's Jessica is the new Karen.
Oh.
According to a new study, that's the 2026. That's the new Karen.
And not Jess or Jessie.
Jessica. That's what I've heard. So that's a good point of reference. So keep that in your book of bags. You might need that one day again. Okay. So if you talk about it, we'll know. And secondly, and then I'll throw it to Bill for a question, but I like the idea we talked about off camera, but we are definitely, I nominate Bill for the Santa Claus shoot. Absolutely.
I'm down.
I think, Santa, maybe Santa in a bikini. I don't know. I'm just throwing things out there. Just saying.
European cut Speedo.
There you go. I like it. And he doesn't even have to wax. So there you go.
A banana hammock.
That's too far. But go ahead, Bill. You have a question?
I have a question. And what you were saying really ties in strongly with what our core belief at the network is that mental health is important. And what you're doing helps improve the mental health, the confidence, the appreciation of themselves. More than that, what's a story you can share without dealing with confidentiality of somebody who came in probably a little hesitant and by the end smiling from ear to ear?
So anybody, and I think this is most people in the human race, we quietly carry with us the sum of the criticism and comments that we've received throughout our lives. Things that we heard as children. Me personally, I was a prepubescent boy, 12 years old, getting ready to go on my growth spurt. And I don't know if any of you guys have children, but it's very common for children to amass body fat as they get ready for that biological leap into tomorrow.
Yep.
And it was one day my mom was in a bad mood, pissed off at something about my dad. And I'll never forget, she made a comment. She was like, look at our son. He's fat. Our son is fat.
Oof.
That stuck with me my entire life. And that's just one of many comments. But, women especially, and I don't like labels. The word feminist is very loaded. But I will say I'm very much pro-woman. Okay. I've been married for 15 years. I'm a girl dad. And I had a woman come to me who was going through a divorce.
Okay.
And she would share little snippets of the comments that she received, things that they might have felt were insignificant, but they broke her down.
Okay.
Things like, you used to look good in a pair of jeans.
Yep.
What a horrible thing to say.
Exactly.
That's a soul-breaking thing to say for a
woman.
And she wanted to do the photo shoot as a kind of what if I could actually pull this off? And she was very nervous and apprehensive. And one thing I noticed is that she would apologize a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just not good at this. Sorry. But there's a moment, and I wish I could show you a wall. One of my favorite things to photograph is, I call it the first look.
Yep.
And it's where we take a girl through the process of getting the clothes on and getting the hair and makeup, and I don't let her see until it's time, and she turns around and sees herself for the first time. And a lot of times in that moment, I'm like, do not cry. You're going to mess up your makeup. But it's just this magical moment where she's like, holy crap, it's been so long since I've seen this person. It has been so long. There you are. That's the little girl before the horrible shit was said to her. That's the young woman before she stepped into situations that like wrecked her soul. And we get that back. And by the end of the session, she was confident, and she ended up, I think we just did our 7th photo shoot together.
Wow.
And she brought me up to the Outer Banks, and I was with her family. It was her and her sister and they brought their daughters.
Okay.
And their daughter's friend. And we did shoot the whole weekend. It was documenting the family unit. But I went from seeing her be someone who said, I don't really think I can do this, to someone coaching her sister on how to pose, oh, do this, this will look cute. And it was amazing to see her not just learn how to take pictures well or to pose well, but to have out beyond the camera a level of confidence that she didn't have before she stepped in front of it.
And that's awesome. And those are the moments you can't see coming, but when they hit, it does a heart good. It just, my job as an educator, we get those moments from time to time.
Yeah.
And you would get that too. Now, I just wanted to switch gears slightly. Can you remind the audience, how long have you been doing what you're doing?
So I grew up around photography. My uncle was a professional photographer, and I was the kid who always had a camera in my hand. You know, when I was 8 years old, I was running around with my Polaroids and
there it is. Yep.
Staging my friends and being like, oh, let's do this and like let's get the shot. But you know, I honestly think that at the core of it all, like as I track a bunch of different things I've done throughout my life, really what's at my center is being a storyteller.
Mm-hmm.
And I love to tell human stories because I genuinely love people.
Yeah.
And you know, photography is an incredible way to tell people stories because I don't know what it is. Like even today, I had a shoot with a young lady, and her mother was like coaching her, and she was a little unsure, but at a certain point, she started to feel who she was.
Yeah.
And the camera can see that. The camera, it's not just a picture. The camera sees beyond the physical.
Yeah.
And it's a really magical thing. Like I think everyone in the world, like the famous Time magazine photo of the girl in Kazakhstan in the middle of the war, and she's just looking with those stone cold blue eyes. That's not just a picture. That's communicating something deeply human. Yeah. And deeply powerful. And that's what I love about photography. So I went through a really complicated, it's interesting. The things that we're passionate about tend to be things that are mirrored in our own personal lives. Mm-hmm. And I spent a good chunk of my life, 12 years, reading off a script that someone had given me. Wow. Thinking that I had to be a certain kind of person. Right. And when that collapsed quite gloriously, I was left, with something that I think most people have been here in their lives at some point or another. Yep. Which is we're sitting in the silence and we have to ask that scary question, aside from this identity that I've created for myself. Mm-hmm. Who am I really? Yep. And I was like, I'll tell you what I am, damn it. I'm a storyteller who takes really good pictures. There you go. And so I launched into photography full time. And then one of the things that was on my bucket list is I always loved pinup. Like the work of Alberto Vargas from the 1940s, and the girls on the side of the 1940s airplane. And I've always loved retro stuff. I mean, look at my freaking shirt, fellas. Yeah, right. I was gonna say you're rocking it, right? Yeah, that's my wife. I was gonna say I figured in the background. Her 15 seconds of fame, no shame, no worries. But I did a pinup shoot, and you know how they talk like, have you guys ever thumped a tuning fork? Yeah. Yep. You know how you like thump it, but then you set it down, and all of a sudden it's like, and it's like, oh, and you feel it from your balls to your bones. Yep. When I did my first pinup shoot, I was like, holy shit, this is it. Yep. And after that, I was like, you know what? I'm all in. Reason be damned. I'm all into doing this. This is what's up.
I was going to say, but my question was going to be, since you've been at it for a bunch of years, you're now established, you have people coming to you. You don't have to, pound the pavement as hardly. But how did you get your clientele base to start? Like, did you have to go?
I got to tell you, yeah. So that's actually an easy question to answer, Bill. Okay. And it's advice that I would give to anyone starting out in any enterprise. And the way that I'm going to frame it is with a quote from a great author named Brené Brown. Mm-hmm. She's an author who deals a lot with shame and self-consciousness. Yep. She said, you either own your own story and walk in it with confidence, or you stand outside of it and hustle for other people's approval. Mm-hmm. And the decision I made, I live in the heart. I'm in South Carolina. I live in the heart of the Bible Belt. I have people who watch my work in secret, but can't be associated with me, because they don't want to have conversations with the good people at church about what are you doing talking to that man, And I have an amazing business coach. I will say that. And she was like, Tom, grip it and rip it. Give zero fucks. Can I say the F word? Yeah, sure can. Don't be afraid what other people think. Don't be afraid of what other people are going to say. If this is your passion, do it, and don't back down, and don't quit. And that's really.
I mean, the thing is, that sounds all fine and good, but you got to eat. you got to pay the bills. So you need to establish that client base, unless you're standing at the mall handing out flyers like a Walmart greeter or something.
Well, you know what I do is I find people out in the wild. Like I am constantly, every day of my life, I am handing my business card to cashiers at the grocery store, to waitresses, to women that I see. And I smile and I say, hey, listen, some people look at what I do and they say, that's weird. I don't get it. But there's a lot of people who see what I do and they feel called to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I say, go by, check out my website, see if you're interested, but I will tell you this. And I never say this as braggadocio or buttering them up. I only say this if I'm honest about it. If I hand you my card, I say, I want you to know that I believe you would kill it. You would be amazing at this. And then the woman has the experience, and then all her friends see it. And they're like, wait a minute, I want to do that. And then her friends see it. Wait a minute, I want to do that. And so forth and so on. And this is super important too. Going back to those 3 C's that I talked about, the entirety of what I do is backlit with integrity.
Yeah.
I am not creepy. I'm not there to take advantage of people. I am a safe place. And I treat my clients with the utmost respect and kindness. And that's fundamental. Because the second that you step over that line where you are trespassing from someone who is there to give something into someone who is there to take something, that's when it becomes lurid and dirty. And I do not cross that line.
Which, now I think this is a great way to segue this, because I call this like a segment of, we're going to call this Tom Gregory's rant moment. Okay, so along those lines, because I think it's a fitting segue for this, I'll let you share the story and then we'll let you blast it off. So tell, obviously, the folks at home, or obviously you have your website. You had a presence on social media, correct?
I did.
So up until recently, you can share with the audience, tell them the backstory of what happened, and then launch into your, have at it. We'll just sit here.
I'll make it brief, but it was kind of, go ahead, Bill.
Tom, before you start, I was just going to say, this ties in with the question I was going to ask about the difficulties and challenges of marketing.
Okay. Yeah.
And so then that ties in.
So, it's funny. You guys kind of like really hit the nail on the head a little bit ago in your discussion, because the challenges in marketing are the perception of what it is versus what it really is.
Yep.
And, we live in a culture. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the author, Mark Manson. He wrote 2 books that changed my life. The first book was called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck.
Yep.
And the second book, which I personally feel like spoke to me more deeply and was more magnificent, is the book Everything is Fucked. I highly recommend both of these books to anyone who's going through a major transition in life.
Yeah.
But people in our culture, and I know, Bill, you're in Canada, right? I don't know a whole lot about Canada, other than one of the best memes I ever saw was someone said, this is what graffiti is like in Canada. And over an overpass, someone had spray painted, your mom is a nice lady.
Yeah.
But here in America, we're in the middle of some cutthroat, divisive shit.
Yeah.
And we live in a culture of outrage.
Yep.
And people are looking for any and every excuse to get pissed off and enraged about something. And then the media plays this echo chamber game where they play it to the other side so that they get outraged about the other side's outrage.
Yep.
And it's this ever increasing machine of being pissed off and angry so that you can sell fucking cornflakes.
Pretty much.
Okay. That's the world that Americans are living in right now.
Yep.
And so, and everything kind of threads together. You remember I said the whole thing of like, be unabashedly you. At a certain point, you have to stop trying to convince people of your worldview and just look for the people who get it. Like, find your allies. Like, it's the zombie apocalypse. Who's going to be in your crew?
Yep.
And so that is the secret to my marketing is I dive into the throng and I take all of the abuse and all of the hateful comments and all of the Karens and all of the social media cancellations.
Here we go. Yeah, this is a good story. This is
and
good.
I find my people.
Go.
People. People apparently the meta algorithm loses its freaking mind over stockings and garters. Like,
go
they
figure.
Can't handle it. They can't. It's suggestive.
Yeah.
And to make matters worse, here's another thing too that's huge about what I do. And Bill, this also ties into a question you asked me about marketing. Pinup is like the sun in my solar system.
Mm-hmm.
I also shoot weddings. I shoot engagement photos. I do headshots. Those things come up. And the interesting thing is, like, beauty has so many different manifestations that doesn't necessarily make them all equivalent. The way that I photograph a half-naked woman who wants to express her sexuality is not the way that I photograph the businessman who wants a good photograph for his business cards and for his marketing.
Yeah.
But what the algorithm does and what people do is they say, oh, he can't take a picture of my engagement. He's a pinup photographer. He takes pictures of women in lingerie. But it's like, well, we're talking about two completely different kinds of beauty here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he can't take pictures of my family at Christmas. He's that pervert.
Yep.
And it's like, no, if you think that way, you're the pervert.
Yep.
If you equivocate all kinds of beauty in life, I mean, there's a time and a freaking place for everything, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Case in point, I've been married 15 years. I love my wife. I think she's absolutely sexy. We laugh every damn day farting in front of each other.
That's true love. Yes.
I would not fart in front of my boss. Well, I'm my boss. So yeah, I fart in front of me all the time. But case in point, there's a time and a place, right? Even ask her, baby, do we fart in front of each other?
No.
Of course. So he already spilled the beans.
She's like, oh my God, what are you talking about?
It's like, what? Just shoot me in the shower moment kind of thing. Like, why don't you just,
She's no longer comfortable in her own home.
He was going to say, yeah. Like, you walked into the bathroom and she was busy.
One of my favorite models for me, by the way. She's one of my.
I was going to ask. I'm sure you have some nice shots there. I couldn't imagine she hasn't at any interval. So.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so here's a question: have you ever had a situation where a woman gets so comfortable in what she does, and she's feeling it? She wants to take a topless photo. Like what happens in that situation?
Do it.
Do you?
Oh, all the time. I'm not afraid of the female body, nor do I think that I'm not a Puritan, and I don't think that nudity is intrinsically perverse.
Yeah.
Now of course, the Bible tells a different story. Like one of the things that correlates with the fall of man into eternal damnation is a recognition of one's own nakedness.
Right.
But reflexively, and I say this as someone who knows a thing or two. Just to give you my background, you remember I told you about I spent a period of my life living off a script that was handed to me?
Mm-hmm.
I spent 12 years in Christian ministry. I worked at churches. I worked in campus ministry, youth ministry. Like, that was my thing.
Yep.
But then when you have the courage to ask certain questions, some of the big systems start to fall apart.
Yep.
So I can say this as not someone just throwing something out there that I don't understand or have any knowledge about. There is not a single verse of scripture in the entirety of the Bible that equivocates modesty with what part of a woman's body she will or will not show. Not a single verse. In fact, the burden of lust is placed on men.
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking at a woman that way, that's your problem, dude. Pluck out your eye, shut your ears, control yourself. So this whole American puritanical idea of like, oh, you can't wear a bikini, or for the love of God. I mean, at one point in our culture, it was you can't show your freaking ankle.
Yeah.
I had a guy at Bible college tell me one time that he was struggling with lust over women in burqas because he could see their eyes. That's not a female problem. That is a man problem.
Yep.
Okay?
Fair.
And a woman, and see, here's the thing. I am not pushing, take your boobies out. What I'm pushing is you should have the right and the freedom to do whatever you want to do that makes you feel the most authentically you without fearing the judgment of other people.
Absolutely.
That's what it comes down to. So if you want to take, now I will say, I personally, and this is just my decision, I do not shoot anything gynecological.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's simply because, and again, I'm not casting judgment on anyone in that line of work. But when you step into that line of work as a photographer, you become that guy, and that's all that you do.
Yeah.
And that's not personally, that's not where I want to be. Right?
Yeah.
I want to be able to present, the softer side of things. And even on my website, predominantly what I push is that I offer a PG-13 alternative to boudoir.
Yeah.
So maybe you want to feel beautiful, you want to feel sexy, but you're not ready to get naked. I'm your guy. I'll take it.
Yeah. As opposed to the guy, like they say, like most, I mean, again, and it's not to knock it because everybody has their niche, but like and we talked to some people in this realm too, like it's hard when you're like a filmmaker, for example, but you start doing those more spicier videos or you start delving into that realm, then it doesn't really matter what you do after because all people associate is, well, now you're that porn director on bottom dollar.
And I mean, it does, Bill made this point. That does happen to me, even on the pinup level, like, oh, he takes sexy pictures of women. Well, you know what? I have a freaking news break for you here. I'm about to ruin it all and let the secret out.
Go for it.
Oh, here we go.
Women are intrinsically sexy.
Mm-hmm.
Women are beautiful. True story. When I was a kid, I was like 4 or 5 years old.
Wow.
My mom tells me the story that we were on vacation in Nassau and I kept wandering off. And they would be like, where's Tom? Oh, he's in the lobby again, staring at the statue. And it was a statue of Eve holding the apple with the snake naked. 4 years old. And see, here, people may be like, oh, well, that's lurid. But here's what's so cool about it. At that age, I had no conception of sexuality.
No.
I had no conception of perversion or morality or even sexual desire. I just knew that what I was looking at was freaking beautiful.
Yeah.
And part of the reason I do what I do so damn well is I believe women are beautiful.
Yeah.
I love the way that they move, the way that they talk, their personalities, their drama, Yeah. And I think too, part of maturity is being able to, and here's a broad metaphor. I hope it lands. But part of maturity and part of what needs to happen in the re-education in male culture in America, and I think they do a little bit better with this in Europe, to be honest.
Probably.
But boys need to be taught how to admire a flower without feeling the need to pick it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yeah.
And I think that it's an unfortunate thing that men see something attractive, see an attractive female, and they're like, oh, I want to dominate that. I want to own that. And a lot of that comes from Judeo-Christian ideology, mind you. Wives submit to your husbands,
right?
Property, blah, blah, blah. But really, our society can take a magnificent step forward if we stop seeing women as objects, but also still retain the beautiful gift of what a privilege it is to be able to even see a woman.
Absolutely.
All of us are you guys married?
Yep.
I've been, yeah.
I get it. Relationships fall apart for all kinds of different reasons, but still, it is a wonderful thing. One of my favorite movies of all time is Scent of a Woman with Al Pacino.
Mm-hmm.
And he has that line in there where he's talking to Charlie on the plane. I mean, to me, it's beautiful. And again, there are people who would say, oh, that's perverse. That's a dirty movie.
Yep.
But he was like, oh, to wake Charlie, to wake up in the morning and to bury your face in curls and you just breathe in the smell of her.
Mm-hmm.
And, Charlie's kind of young and confused and naive. And he was like, what do you think about that, Charlie? And he's like, well, I guess it sounds like you really like women. And Al Pacino puts his hand out and says, take my hand, Charlie. This is the beginning of your education, son.
Yep.
And what a beautiful moment. And I have a daughter. If I had a son, I would relish the opportunity.
Yeah.
To be like, boy, you treat those girls like princesses.
Absolutely.
You count yourself lucky every damn day you get to be in the presence of women, because without women in our culture, everything would fall to fuck apart like a rotten vessel.
100%. Now, for me, like, I share a similar vein. My movie of choice, so I said every man should be like What Women Want. So,
with Mel Gibson? Okay, yeah.
Just, if you could understand what women like, and they always say men don't listen. If you just know what we're thinking, like, you literally, and he appreciates them because he learns from hearing their thoughts.
Yeah.
I think that's very true. And I tell people my growing up path was, and I've been made fun of for this, and I don't care because I still find it. I still go back and reflect. I had the very wonderful privilege, like you're saying. I grew up with a lot of friends who were girls. I had probably more female friends than I did male friends.
Yeah.
And so, I really was blessed by that because I still did the boy games. You play beat up, you play army, you play all the sports, all that stuff.
Sure.
But when the opportunity arose to play tea party, to play dress up, to, whatever the girl games that people, make fun of. For me, it was, what? I didn't see the correlation between, I'm just, I was just having fun with friends. We're playing these games. And the reason being is I grew to appreciate, as we got older, we became of age in certain things. Like, that maturity grew with me because I was around them. And they taught me how the man should appreciate the woman and so forth. Like, I got on hands-on education just by interacting, by playing games, and it grew with us. Like, I still have friends that we talk a lot as adults now, but it's just the context. And I tell people too, no matter where I've worked, what I've done, I always appreciate women because I find the female mind very stimulating, where I can have a wonderful conversation. I love talking to men too, but a lot of times it's always the dirty. I like to joke around with the best. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But when I want the soulful, meaningful conversation, I talk to women because it's like having an autobiography. You talk to somebody where you actually learn, and I can edify myself. I'm not just feeding myself empty calories with garbage, if you will.
Or let's be honest, men at the table, and I relate to you on this. And the reason that I feel more comfortable categorically around women is men always some way or another get into dick measuring.
Yeah.
I mean, what is the first damn question that we ask each other when we meet a stranger? What do you do?
Yeah.
What do you do for a living? Let me size you up. Like, what's your status? What's your power? Now, granted, I will say we have a little bit of a luxury being men who enjoy the company of women, because girls can be absolutely awful to each other.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's something I talk about in my book, is like some of the greatest oppressors of women are women.
Mm-hmm.
But it's funny. I think you said earlier that you were a fan of Family Guy.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember when like they're hiding Stewie from the cops, and he goes in and dresses like a woman, and they get away, and he's like in there, and Brian's like, so Stewie, you want to go ahead and take that off? He's like, no, Brian, I'm fine.
I'm fine.
And he's like, how do you feel, Stewie? And he's like, I feel right, Brian. I feel right. And a couple weekends ago, I was up in the middle of nowhere at this house on the Outer Banks of North Carolina, and here's me, a man who just turned 50 years old, and I'm there with two women and their daughters and their daughter's friend, all girls.
Mm-hmm.
And there was never once a moment where I was like, this is weird. No. I was like, Stewie, I feel right, Brian. I feel right. No. I like to boast that I own more dresses and lingerie than any straight man in the southeastern United States.
Yeah, and that's good. And again, girl dad, and you have that track because, and I think again that's the unfortunate misconceptions for what you're doing when people take it the wrong way, because you don't see your background, like married, family, like you're not some single guy with a weird hobby. If you want to go that route, I'm sure there's you know what I mean. Like you hear these things.
Yeah.
But you genuinely are trying to be uplifting, and when you, for like women too, and young or old, doesn't matter the age. Obviously, age is not a factor there. Women are at whatever stage of life, but you are helping them discover themselves, maybe encouraging them to. And as you said from the stories you're sharing, people are just opening up where they're taking a risk. They've been sheltered before. They've been felt less of themselves. They felt, not appreciated, not valued. All the negatives, most likely from a male presence in some aspect. Let's be honest, that happens quite unfortunately a lot. But finding their empowerment to say that, like you said, the first look moment. That's wow. There I am. I've missed that.
But, I do have to reemphasize. I had a really formative experience last winter. My daughter, when the weather's cold, her cheeks get really, really rosy.
Mm-hmm.
And we were at a gas station, and I went in to do something to pay, getting ready to pump gas. And as we came out, and my daughter, she's 11 years old, her cheeks are all rosy. And there was an older woman who was an employee of the gas station walking in. And she looked at my daughter and she said, "Oh, honey, you're lovely. You don't have to wear all that." Thinking that she was wearing makeup. And I only heard the "I'm lovely" part. And we were getting into the car and my daughter was like confused. And she was like, "Dad, I don't understand why she said that." And I was like, "What? She told you she's lovely." But she was like, "Well, yeah, but she said you don't have to wear all that." And I was like, "What?" And I went back inside and I was like, "Excuse me, can you explain to me why you said that to my daughter?" And she could tell. I mean, I'm that guy. If I'm pissed, there ain't no hiding it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, bless their hearts. Girls come into this world receiving all these conflicting messages from all these directions. You need to be smart, but not too smart. You need to be powerful, but not threatening.
Yep.
You need to be beautiful, but not too pretty. You need to be desirable, but not like that. You need to be sexy, but not be aware of it. And I'm telling you, man, guys figured out the shit, right? For centuries of human history. But women by birth are invited to an unwinnable game.
Yeah. And the funny thing, I thought about this line. I heard this. I forget who the comedian was. It was a great story, but the line was, talking about that women, obviously they do a lot more maintenance than we do. I think in a lot of cases, I think it's just, whatever natural law for that. But, and I say this, I still remember the line. It was a funny punchline where he's like, here's the difference between men and women. So a woman, she'll get out of bed, she'll get up. I've got to do my face. I've got to, comb. I got to shower. I got to bathe for 2 hours. I have a whole, regiment of preparing myself and looking beautiful just to start the day. Okay.
Yeah.
Whereas guys, this is where I always laugh because I love his line. He goes, we just roll out of bed in our underwear with holes in it. We walk up to the mirror, look at it, and go, "Yep, I still got it," and then we're good to go.
Then burp.
Yep, and we're good. Fart. Yep, there we go. I'm good for the day.
Reflexively too, and this is kind of an unrelated quote, but it's one of my favorite quotes from one of my favorite movies. But it always endlessly cracks me up, and I think it's one of those quotes that is special because it uniquely encapsulates a male mentality. But also very playfully and lovingly communicates to women how men feel. But in the movie LA Story, Steve Martin says, "I would have been an absolute failure as a woman. I would have just stayed at home and played with my breasts all day."
Yeah, I think most of us would. We couldn't have them for a reason. I know I think 99.9% of us would do that. I mean, I could ask Bill. Bill has more than we do. What do you think? Do you do that?
I am not going to disclose what I do in my bedroom.
Okay, good enough. That's a fair enough point.
But here's my question.
Yes, sir.
It's funny we've been talking about TV shows. My favorite TV show of all time is Seinfeld. And there's one episode where they're talking about Seinfeld and his woman he's seeing at the time. The woman likes to walk around naked.
Okay.
And so Jerry at one point said, "Hey, I can do this too." So he started walking around naked, and she goes, because he was bending over and he was fixing his bike or something. And so he was explaining the story to Elaine. Elaine goes, "Oh yeah, women, they're a piece of art. They're to be studied and to be, looked at. Men are functional. Men can do what they need to do naked, but you don't want to see it. So
yeah, and you know, it's kind of like beautiful is that is something, you know, that separates our genders that has been fashioned and carved out through tens of thousands of years of evolution.
Mm-hmm.
There is a reason for that, you know, and it's not just functionality, right?
Here will be. I was going to say, here will be my second last question because we're getting near the end.
Sure, yeah.
I myself, I love a woman with curves. I married a larger woman. I think she's goddamn gorgeous, and that's the way it is. There are some women that are very self-conscious about being skinny.
Yeah.
Oh, I have no chest. I have no upper body. I don't have the legs. Have you ever had a woman come in, do a shoot who was self-conscious, either because she was too skinny or too large, or she had too many freckles, or she had a stretch mark from birth, and by the end, she's, you know, not necessarily high as a kite with, you know, enjoyment, but she's learned to accept herself?
My answer might surprise you, and I'm a little bit nervous to answer it honestly, because some people might hear it and think that I'm giving lip service or being grandiose. But I can tell you with as much sincerity as I can muster. Age, size, weight, shape, physical flaws. Every single woman comes in feeling self-conscious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Every single one.
I find it hard pressed they wouldn't. Yeah.
Girls, I'm telling you, I mean, you know, hopefully she's watching this podcast, but, you know, I can guarantee you that Taylor Swift, if she looks at a photograph of herself, her eyes immediately go to the things she doesn't like.
Yeah.
She carries with her insecurities and uncertainties and apprehensions about how she's going to be perceived.
Yeah.
And it does not matter how much the world tells you, oh, you're beautiful and sexy and gorgeous. And, you know, it kind of becomes a burden. You know, I have one girl that I worked with and it broke my heart, but I got it. But she was like, oh God, I can't wait till I get to the point in my life where I have aged out of the male gaze.
Really?
Because I'm so tired of like guys trying to hit on me and talk to me. But it's like, she's young.
Yeah.
There's going to come a time where she was like, oh God, I wish I had that back.
Yeah.
So the first part of your question, Bill, is that every single woman comes into my sessions with a certain degree of apprehension and self-consciousness. And the second part of your question is, and this is the part I'm nervous to say, but I'm going to be honest. Every single woman leaves my sessions feeling confident about themselves and more beautiful. I will say that I have an unbroken track record. I have never had a single client walk away from my photo sessions after doing and seeing their pictures and has said, God, I wish I didn't do that.
That's great.
Perfect. Now I'll give you my last question and then you can finish it up.
Okay.
Justin.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now we've talked about the beauty of everyday people. We've talked of the librarian, the waitress, the mechanic. To me, you can sit and there's a reason why people watch. But But if you were given the assignment to do a boudoir or pinup shoot with someone who's in the public's eye, who would you choose and why?
Oh.
Can we count living and dead, or is this like one of those that has to be living?
It could be anybody. You want to make Eva Braun look sexy? Go ahead.
Okay, man. Boy, oh boy. Have I got a controversial answer to this?
Oh, okay.
And you'll have to forgive me on this one if I get a little choked up and emotional, okay?
Okay.
Because I believe this person's story encapsulates everything that we've been talking about. There was a young girl whose mother was mentally ill.
Okay.
At one point, her mother tried to drown her in the bathtub and burn the apartment down with her inside of it.
Oh, yeah.
She gave her up. She was an orphan. And while she was an orphan, she was sexually abused.
Oh.
She was adopted by a family, and that family, after fostering her for a time, decided that they wanted to move, but they didn't want to take her with her. And so they pawned her off on a cop to be married at the age of 15.
Oh, yeah. I can't.
Despite all of her incredible success and beauty and magnificence, her entire life she referred to herself as an orphan.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a waif. I'm an orphan. No one really wanted me.
Right.
Her name was Norma Jean Baker.
There you go. Yep.
Norma.
Yep.
Created into Marilyn Monroe.
Yep.
And that was an image that she had, but who the actual woman was a beautiful, aching, wounded person. And I don't know if you guys followed it at all, but recently it was the 100th anniversary of her birth. She would have been 100 years old.
Yep.
And at her grave in Los Angeles, California, there were hundreds of flowers delivered and hundreds of lipstick marks on her grave. And someone made the comment, "Oh, sweetheart, if you could just see this, you're not an orphan."
No.
And if I could photograph anybody in this world, oh my God, what I wouldn't give to photograph Norma Jean.
Oh, I mean, could she take a photo?
Not because of like how amazing she was, but because of who she was.
I saw something on the internet a while back, and they were talking about modern beauty versus what Marilyn Monroe's beauty. And women now have to be a size 2. They have, yet they have to have 42 double D breasts. They got to have hips. They said, you look at Marilyn Monroe's proportions, and she's a gorgeous woman, but she would be considered chunky now.
Oh, yeah, she broke a lot of barriers.
All the stuff. But see, again, it was what's inside. I heard 3 different conversations of people that were with her, and they said that that she turned to them at one point, and she said that they were in a public area, a public space, and no one was really taking notice. Like she had a hat, sunglasses, celebrity thing. But she would get this kind of playful smirk on her face and turn to them and said, "Hey, do you want to see me be her?" And they're like, "What?" She was like, "Do you want to see me do it?" They're like, "Yeah, sure." And they said that this switch would flip and Marilyn Monroe would come on.
Yep.
And everybody would stop and the world would just kind of like,
yep.
And that's the thing, is all her pain and all her struggle and all of the darkness. And despite what people think, she was an extremely intelligent woman.
Yeah. Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, off camera, she was like reading Dostoevsky and philosophy. And, she launched her own production company. She was a genius. And, she got typecast into this bimbo. And to this day, people think she's a certain way. But, she was absolutely incredible.
Awesome.
So did you tell me that I would get a short chance to make a closing remark?
Yes.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Well,
and part of that closing too is we want you to give we call this our shameless plug moment. You can give your spiel where we can sell you. Obviously, we can't find you on social media.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to tell you to find me on. I'm not going to tell you to find me on Instagram or Facebook.
Not currently. We'll keep you guys posted. But aside from that, Tom, tell us more, please.
I was going to ask you, what outfit would you wear if you were getting a boudoir shoot?
Oh, well, if it were my boudoir shoot, I would want to dress in a way that most reflected me and who I was and that I felt comfortable and confident in.
Garter
so
belt
for
stockings.
me, it wouldn't be about showing skin because holy shit, there'd be way too much of it.
Camera would crack. Yeah, no.
But I'm a person who loves to dress up vintage as well. So I would wear a double-breasted vest with a nice tie and a pocket watch and a tie bar, hair perfectly coiffed, the mustache doing its thing.
Yes.
And I would look all dramatic and smoldering.
See, there you go.
You gotta look like Rolly Fingers.
According to Amber, she said you got to show your skin. She wants more skin.
I like to think that I look like the guy on the can of Pringles.
Yes. Like,
So, you know,
absolutely.
if I
Or the
wanted-
Monopoly guy.
If I wanted a sexy shoot that shows the real me, I'd be on the couch without a shirt, eating chicken wings, watching football, and the sexy part would be the sauce dripping from my.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so Bill, you have my number. Let's schedule that shoot.
Next time you're up in Toronto,
Oh man,
we'll
look,
do a
I don't need
bucket
an
thing.
excuse to get up to Canada and eat some poutine.
Hey,
There you go.
there
Listen,
you go.
we'll come up for the holidays. I'm telling you, we got to have sexy Santa shoot or something.
I think a pilgrimage up there would be a really good idea.
Absolutely.
You're gonna get poutine, ketchup, chips, and butter tarts.
Dude,
Don't threaten me with a good time.
Stop with the porn.
I know you're like seeing myself. Hey, look, Amber's on board. Yeah, come along. She loves that. She used to model back in the day, so she'd be a great candidate for some photo shoots. So.
Amber, look. So listen, SodaCityPinup.com.
Yes.
The most awesome thing you could do there is join my email list, find your way to reach out to me, and you could also pick up a free copy of my ebook, The Art of Being Seen. And on that note, if you'll indulge me, my final statement.
Go for it.
I'd like to read the closing remarks from my book.
Please.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, what is the book's name if people want to buy it?
It's not for sale. It's free.
Oh, it's free.
Yeah. Well, no, Bill's got to pay for it. He's in Canada. But aside from that, everybody else. No.
You can download it as an ebook from my website.
There you go.
Totally free. All I care about is the message.
I'll do it for you, Bill. You just got to pay me later. That's all. No.
Is it tariff free? Does it beat the tariffs?
No, it's a digital download. No cost whatsoever.
We're going to charge you a tariff. Yeah. Let him have his moment, will you?
It's the greatest book ever. You've never read a book like this ever before.
You never will again. Yes.
The book is fantastic as this book.
Absolutely. Magnifique. Even Michelangelo couldn't have painted it anyway.
Okay, so this last statement again, I kind of like get on my guy period sometimes.
Oh boy.
But I do get a little emotional because I worked really hard on this book, and when I got to these concluding statements, they slapped so hard. So if I crack just a little bit, have mercy. Okay.
Okay. No, that's fine.
So in conclusion, this book began as a love letter to women, to art, to the beauty of being unapologetically seen. But it is also a reminder. The world does not change when it starts admiring women differently. It changes when women start admiring themselves. The art of being seen is not about the photograph. It's about the recognition that the woman in it has always been enough. So if you take nothing else from these pages, take this. You do not need permission to shine. You do not need approval to be beautiful. You do not need to earn your right to be visible. Stand in the light. Let yourself be seen, because every time a woman claims her space in the world, every time she smiles into her own reflection without flinching, the entire world becomes a little brighter. And that is the most timeless art of all.
Wow. That is like, I don't want to say any more because I don't want to ruin it. That's that's pure poetry.
To write my eulogy.
All of us. We'll hire you in advance. So I'll have some ideas for mine.
Chicken wing eating motherfucker.
Yeah. I want one of those, like, I want people to laugh and cry at the same time. So I want it to be funny and yet.
I was going to say, if your daughter gets the rosy, I have an 11-year-old daughter too, like we're eerily similar, same ages kind of thing. If she ever wants to come up to Canada, she'll get those cheeks rosy.
I'll bring the whole family, man.
Go for it. Yeah, we could have a whole, like.
Yeah, I want to meet all y'all. And also that crazy chick.
Yeah. Yeah, we can arrange that. I'm sure that won't be hard to do. So that's not not something that would be hard at all. But Tom, listen, we definitely want to have you come back. We'd love to have you come back. You're welcome anytime.
It was a great time, guys.
We'll appreciate that. We will absolutely plug the website. We'll point people your way. We'll try to help as much as and please reach out any way we can help with that. We'd love to help.
And if you get permission, do not be afraid to drop in a pinup in one of our pages.
Yeah, just let me know. I will be so happy to share some of my work.
Yeah, no, for sure. Anything you can send our way, we will definitely plug that.
Should I just email it to you?
If you'd like, sure.
I'll respond to the address that you sent me the link from.
That's good. Yeah, I think that's Bill's email, which is fine.
Yeah,
we also
that's
have
fine.
the
You can
network
send
email,
it to
whatever
me,
you want to
that's
do.
fine.
I was going to say, I almost forgot. I was going to say, well,
Bill, don't
Yes?
you be sending those pictures back with weird stains on them, my guy.
see, now I would say to be safe, send it through social. Dang it. Anyway, yes, email's good. So,
right.
I am anything if not efficient.
says that now. But
Speaking of efficiency, I did hear on the radio yesterday that apparently you burn as many calories having sex as you do running a mile. And I was like, that's bullshit. Who runs a mile in 30 seconds?
Exactly. Well, we know what most Americans are doing. I like watching those. You ever watch those VR videos with the guys doing it with the headset, and she's like, "What are you doing? Nothing. I'm just doing my workout."
Well, no, the question is, that's why I strive for the 4-minute mile.
Oh, what a lovely idea for a photo shoot there.
Come on, we all know what 12 inches looks like.
We do, yeah. Well, Bill knows better than most. He's in Canada.
No,
that's as close to a foot as he gets.
I don't know 12 inches, but I do know 24 centimeters.
Oh my goodness! On that happy note, ladies and gentlemen, we want to applause and we'll welcome back you guys. Check out his website, Tom Gregory. Everybody, good round of applause again. Again, check it out. Check out the website. We'll plug that. We have. I think I did add it in the comment section here, or in the description. You can check it out. We'll share more. We'll have Tom come back, but you guys can find great information there how to contact him. If you want to shoot too, maybe some female viewers, you guys want to reach out, by all means. It could be a great time. You can check out some of the great other gals that are on there. And
if you think Tom is a pornographer, send them to Justin Pertica.
Why? Why would you do that? And then I'm going to send them to Bill Van Vagel and say, here's the complaint department. So if you have
and then you can all send them to Meta.
There you go. Hey, we can all become Mark Zuckerberg's friends. Look at that. He's definitely going to know us by the end of it all. Well, Tom, listen, thank you so much. It's been a privilege. We will be in touch. We'll have you come back soon. And again, lovely time.
Awesome, man.
Thank you.
And thank you, everybody at home. We appreciate you all. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Again, if you want more, stay tuned. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe, do the thing. You guys know what to do. Hope you enjoy that. Have a great, wonderful rest of your night. Cheerio and goodbye for now. And of course, as we always say here, until next time, when we see each and every one of you at the show. Cheers. Goodbye for now. Until next time, everybody.
Thank you for listening to the What's Up Bro show. Catch all the latest live action on your favorite podcast streaming services, including Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more. You can also check out episodes on the studio's official YouTube channel. Subscribe and become a member today. Don't forget to also turn on notifications so you'll know when new content is uploaded. Stay tuned and don't miss a single moment. We love and appreciate all your support. And as always, we will see you at the show.